Welcome to Dixon Photography. I thought, because I didn't have so many pictures of myself, why not take some pictures of me, the photographer? And I went out with the Canon 6D Mark II on a tripod, put it on a tripod, and in my hand I got this remote control with which I take the pictures. I want to do a review about the camera strap that I'm using here, the Holdfast Moneymaker. And so I thought, you know, I wanted to give you a look how it looks like with the camera strap. And so I took some pictures. And what was really interesting is I've never, I've just put the images here in Lightroom and just put over a black and white filter. I haven't edited any of these images. I put over a black and white filter. This is how it looked before. And I haven't done anything else to these images. And I just copied the filter to all images. So all images are edited in the same way, and I haven't touched them. I haven't corrected them in any other way. And I thought, let's take a look at these images straight in Lightroom. Now you see it's a little bit corny or dirty. It's because here we have the, you could say, noise or the grain. Grain it's called. So this would be without grain. This would be with more grain, and it's just a stylistic thing. You can do it without it, you can do it with it, you can emulate a little bit an old look as if it was shot on film. With this grain it looks like on film. Without it, it's very digital, it's very clean. You can also just put on here the color. Oh, it's not a nice color. I've used a preset, and so a black and white preset, so all images have the same look. And I just want to show you these images. You see, it always takes a little bit until the program has rendered the files, 26 megapixel files. And I thought, let's take a look at these images on a huge computer. And I took all these images myself. How did I do it? With a remote control in one of my hands. I hold it here under the camera. The remote control looks like this. Here I have it. One is on the camera, one is in my hand. I filmed all these shootings. So I have two cameras around me, two Canon 6Ds. That's my wedding camera kit. I film with the Canon 6D Mark II. I take the pictures with the Canon 6D Mark II. I trigger the camera with this thing. The camera focuses automatically at my face. We're here 85mm lens at f2.0, faces sharp. And I find it very, very interesting that you can do this today. Now, it's a really revolution to have face detection in a camera. Now, all cameras that come out have it. I don't know about Nikon, but all cameras from Canon have it. Sony has incredible autofocus, face detection, eye detection capabilities, but just look at this. I push this trigger in my hand. I have the flip out screen out, so at 85mm I see on the screen, on the camera, is my face in the screen. Because with 85mm it's a telephoto lens. If I stood straight here, my head would not be in the frame. So the flip out screen is necessary to see what's in the frame. The two most important things here is the photographer and his camera. Are these things in the frame? And if I would not have the flip out screen, it would be very difficult to actually find out if my head is in the frame or not. I could take a picture, go to the camera, look at the camera, is my face in the frame, and then adapt. And then I would have to remember where I stood exactly. So with the 85mm lens, it's not so easy without a flip out screen. You can use a phone with an app, but I don't want to have a phone in my hand when I take these pictures. The remote control is very small. It has the size of a lighter, a cigarette lighter. It is very small, and I hold it here in my hand, and you don't really see it. If I wouldn't have told you, you wouldn't know that with this in my hand, I take the picture. And now it's f1.6. So you see, I've changed the aperture, opened it up even more, f1.6. and still get sharp images. And I find this really fascinating. I never could take images of myself this easily. And I would always have to ask somebody. And you know, when you ask somebody, could you take a picture of me? It's always, it's okay, but you never, usually the people take 1 or 2 images of you and then it's fine. They don't take this many images, and the images don't look like this. You see here I push the button, so this is how I trigger the camera. It's a teamwork. I pull the trigger, I'm in the frame, I can see it on the screen of the flip out screen, and then the camera focuses on my face at f1.6. So let's just take a look at some more of these images. Now it also focuses on my face even if my head is not totally in the frame, which is also fascinating, that the camera sees what's even a little bit outside of the screen, because my half of my head is not on the frame and it still recognizes me. Then I went to the other side. So now you see, obviously the sun is lighting me. It's obvious because it's hard shadows. Then I shoot against the light. I changed the position. I just turned around to the other side of the camera, and you know, for example, now where I stand here, I put the camera, and where the camera is, I went to. And this is what I get from it. Very soft light. You see the sun is now behind me, sun is lighting my back, and I'm in the shadows. It's much more easy to see things here. There is no harsh light. And because with the flip out screen, now this is all shot at f1.2 85. I don't know if you ever tried that lens 85 1.2, but in my experience, 85 1.2 at 1.2 is one of the most difficult things to shoot with in terms of lens. It's so difficult to use. I find that the 85mm lens is trying everything for you to miss focus. If I shoot with the 85 1.2 at 1.2, people who are even actually a little bit moving, like here in all these images, I'm moving a little bit towards the camera, away from the camera, I'm in movement, and I just click, 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 click here in my hand. At f1.2, it's very difficult to shoot the standard way, you know, with the center focus point and then focus and recompose. It's very difficult to get the eyes in focus at f1.2 85mm lens. Somebody who's moving. Sometimes the ear is in focus, the nose, but sometimes not the eyes. And with the live view, with the Canon 6D, it's a different focus system. You have nearly all of the frame as a focus system. It's like a mirrorless camera. It's a different focus system than looking through the viewfinder. And I find it works so nice, so well. I get so many shots. You see, all these shots are actually in focus. And it's f1.2. I take the pictures myself. This is something that you could not do a couple of years ago. It was nearly impossible to get focus of your eye when your eye is not in the center and when you are moving. And I find this really fascinating. And I just want to share it with you. I don't think the Canon 6D is the only camera that gives you these images, but the flip-out screen it's the only full-frame camera, the Canon 6D, that has the flip-out screen. And for all these images here, I need the flip-out screen. Because you see these images here, if I would not have a flip-out screen, if I would stand straight, my head would be behind the frame, top of the frame. With the flip-out screen, I see on the camera, even 85mm, which means the camera is a little bit far away, I see on the screen, is my head in the frame? How is the color? You know, when we look before and after. As I said, I haven't edited these images. I've just put over a black and white preset. I haven't edited them. I have done nothing to them. It's all they are all the same settings, because I just edited, you know, I just put the preset over one, copied them to all the others, and just even see here how they are, how the black and white filter is adapting. And so this is, I find, you know, I took these images very quickly, super easily, and editing, you know, I just put on the black and white filter, it's still adapting. And it's very, very interesting how quickly these images turn out. And I've never had images like this of myself. I've never had these. Never had an image like this of myself. Nobody ever takes images like this of myself. You know, I can ask my girlfriend, but you know, camera settings, and so she's always with me taking pictures, but she very rarely actually is the one who's taking pictures. I'm the one taking pictures, so she has no idea about camera setting or whatsoever. And now I can take these pictures easily of myself, and I find it incredible. And I thought, let's take a look at these images, big 24mm 1.4. When I just put this away, so this is how it looks unedited. When we put in a little bit of detail, you see how sharp actually the lens is. You see the eyes are in focus, f1.4. And I can just click this image, go to the next, click previous, and now I have my look. It doesn't actually matter which lens you use. I've used the 24 here, the 85 and 135, which is here. And it doesn't really matter which lens you use. Every lens has a unique working place or space. For example, the 24mm lens is a nice lens to take selfies. You know, an image like this or something like this. The camera's on a tripod, but I could have used it in my hand. And this is a really dynamic image. And the closer you go, the more dynamic you will get with the 24mm lens. It's very vivid, very realistic. It feels like you're right next to the person here. And then I went for the 135mm lens. Very beautiful lens. Isolates the subject from everything around. You don't see anything. You don't know where we are here. It could be anywhere. You see nothing in the background. f2.0. Let's take a look at the sharpness. f2.0 135 is a very shallow depth of field. And even here, it's all in focus. It's all sharp. And you know, many people talk bad about the Canon 6D. I use Canon. I've had Fuji cameras. I'm going to try an Olympus in 2 days. Olympus OMD EM10 III, just for fun, with a very nice lens, f1.2 lens, and we'll see how that performs. But you know, when I grew up in photography, people said the most important thing in your photography is your lens. It's not the camera. Don't buy a new camera, buy a new lens. I feel today, especially on YouTube, everybody's talking about cameras, nobody's talking about lenses. And I feel that all these lenses that I've used here, this is 135 2.0, the 24 1.4, the 85 1.2, these are so special lenses that just for the lenses, Canon is great. And I'm very careful about talking too good about camera manufacturer, because I think everyone has something to offer. Canon definitely is one of the best lens lineups, where only Nikon comes close to. When you look at a lens like a 200mm 2.0, 300mm 3.8, 400mm 2.8, that is something that not many manufacturers have. You know, you might not need that, but it's a part of the quality of a manufacturer, what it can give you. Now I'm really happy with these images. I got these results very quickly. I just imported these images. I took them yesterday, so we see it. Let's take a look. 2nd of May, now it's 3rd of May. We see it here. No, we see it here. Okay, we don't see it. And yeah, I thought let's make a video. It's a very different style because the photographer here takes pictures of himself. The photographer and the model is the same person. And we're shooting at extremes, 85 1.2. This is what comes out of it, using a simple remote control. Yongnuo, 25 euros, $30. And that's it.